Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I'm doing Santa's Modern Penthouse. So the idea for this is that Santa is living in the city, maybe kind of in his off season, because he has to spend time at the North Pole, to make sure everything goes well. That's where his operations are stationed. But yeah, I decided to build a penthouse, and I wanted to be really modern, just because I thought that would be fun to do, and I like doing modern builds. And so I knew I wanted to do a penthouse, and I thought I was going to build a penthouse from scratch on one of the penthouse lots, but I started and stopped, I kid you not, I think 8 times. Sometimes it'd be for longer, I'd go for 8 minutes, sometimes I'd only go for 5 minutes. And so it was just really frustrating. I wasn't feeling inspired enough. And so I decided to build a penthouse in this area, because this is technically a penthouse. It's an apartment lot, but it's the top floor of the apartment lot. So yeah, so anyways, I decided to give myself a little bit of structure to work around instead of, oh my gosh, I'm still recovering from that dumb cold I've been talking about for 8,000 years. Goodness gracious. But yeah, so I don't even know what I was saying. I just got wiped right out of me. But anyways, more structure, thought it'd be easier. It kind of wasn't. I actually started and stopped a few times with this build too, just because the layout was kind of awkward. Because I knew I really wanted to highlight the fact that this was 3 stories, and so, the stairs are there, and so I did a lot of messing around before I kind of was okay, this is where I want to place the stairs. And so then that is when I started filming is when I figured out where I wanted to place the stairs. But yeah, I also had a little bit of trouble with this kitchen because I didn't want to block that magnificent build, but I feel like kitchens look really incomplete if they don't have some sort of storage. So I ended up going with one of those really tall cabinets, floor to whatever, and then also adding in some shelves. That way you could still see the view, because this is an amazing view. This penthouse, no joke, when they say it has the good view or great view trait, it does. It's spectacular. Oh my gosh, it practically took the screenshots for me. But yeah, I also liked having this huge open space so I could put the Christmas tree there. And then as you saw in the intro, I put that sort of spiral chandelier in there. And I'm super proud of my camera work for being able to twist the camera down through the chandelier. That was fun. I also really like this bathroom idea. It's like a candy cane bathroom. But yeah, so the idea behind this is that this is where, I've already said this, I don't know why I'm restarting with the idea behind this, but I imagine this as being where Santa and Mrs. Santa live, and so, I don't know, I really like the concept and the idea, and I thought it was really cute. I have gone through some love-hate sort of reactions to this build myself, just because there are some points where I'm just wow, that looked a lot better than I thought it did, and wow, this build, I've just been kind of in a building funk lately. Ever since I built Castle in the Sky, I've been a bit in a funk, I don't know, so, and I've just been so sure of all of my decisions, or so unsure of all my decisions, and so I cut a lot of that out. Just in case any of you are wondering, I do cut out a lot of indecisiveness from my builds, because I personally think it's boring. And also I am a wee bit embarrassed at how long it actually takes me to build stuff. This took me 4.5 hours to build. I don't think it should have taken me that long. I mean, but anyways, so if you think I am a master builder who gets everything right on the first try, that is only the perception that I have put forth. It is not actually reality. But yeah, I also tried to tinker with these, the hanging fairy lights, and those things are so hard to turn. They are so super sensitive at some moments and then not sensitive at all, and so you go to turn it and it goes 80 degrees or 360, and it's just a headache. Also, I would like to say that I'm officially addicted to that table from City Living, with the glass down the center and the chairs from Vintage Glamour Stuff Pack. And so yeah, it's bad. I've used it in like the last 3 builds I've done, and I need to stop, but it just looks so pretty. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so this is being posted on the 24th of December. So if you celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a great Christmas Eve and a great Christmas day. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then I hope you just have a great day in general. And I'm sorry that a lot of stuff is closed today. That must be obnoxious for people who are just like, this is every other day for me, why are you closed? But I think it's the 24th. I did this in my last video. I should not be doing this. I'm looking at my calendar. It's so far away. Yeah, okay, sorry. My calendar is like, I should I did that in the last video. Because I forgot when Hanukkah started, but Hanukkah starts on the 24th, which is really interesting. And I actually did a Hanukkah themed build, just because that, you know, this isn't just the Christmas season. So if you want to check that out, there will be a link to it down below, just so you know. But yeah, in that video too, I was like reaching for the calendar and being really unprofessional. Oh gosh, I keep having to cough and it's really bad. But so here I'm doing this walk-in closet, and it didn't quite turn out how I wanted it, just because it's so narrow and long. And I mean, I know I made it that way, but gosh, was that annoying. Also, taking screenshots of it was impossible. I hate how, like, crazy the camera gets when you get this high up. Like, you only, I can't even, like, if you've gone into tab mode on the 4th floor of really any building, the camera goes crazy whenever you move. It like moves like 10 feet instead of the like 1 foot it would move if you're on the 1st floor. But anyways, that's me being a complainy pants, like always. But I thought that I would tell you guys some Christmassy type stories. So first of all, it snowed in my area again twice since the last time I told you guys, and both times I acted like a complete, like, I don't even know, like, child. Like, I just go crazy for snow. I love it so much, and it just makes me so happy. There was this one moment where it had stopped snowing, and so I went to the window, you know, to go look, and I was like, oh, it stopped snowing. You know, there are a couple flakes here and there, but that's probably from trees, you know, in the wind. And then, I kid you not, it started heavily, like, snowing, like, so much. It went from like 0 to 100 just as I was looking outside, and I felt like the snow loved me for once. But yeah, I also on one of the days I went for a 1-hour walk in the snow. I walked all the way to this really nice park and back, and it was just so beautiful. I took all of these unnecessary pictures, and then the path I was walking on intersects with the train line, and so the train came, and I got this awesome footage of the train in the snow, and it was just magnificent. Like, it was one of the few times where I wasn't annoyed by the train, because if you've watched most or any of my videos, you know that the train is constantly interrupting me like a rude person. But yeah, so that's my snow story. I was having so much fun, and we didn't lose power, which is nice. I haven't ever really lost power where I live, because I live in an actual, like, city-ish area, whereas at my parents' house, we live, like, out in the boonies, like, you know, a desolate area. You see the deer more than you see your neighbors, and so it's like, whenever somebody so much as sneezes, the power goes out, and it will go out for days. Like, it has done that before, and it just is a fact of life in the winter that the power will go out, and you will have to find a good book and sit by our little wood-burning stove. And also be very cold in the night. So cold. And it's also so dark. It's weird. Anyways, this isn't Christmassy at all yet, but here I am working on Santa's office, which I really like, but again, I couldn't get a good screenshot of it. But I also, so in game, I had this, like, you know, the little notification you get when an object hasn't been used before, it's new and it sort of glows yellow. You can see it on the screen just now, it's like the little pencil holder. So that has been glowing yellow for me, and even though I've used debug mode, you know, to get different objects and whatnot, and cheats and whatnot, it hasn't gone away. But finally, I was in debug mode, I have city living, and I was searching for green objects, and I found a stack of letters. You know, just clutter letters, and it finally went away, and I was just like, wow. That took way too long. But yeah, anyways, that was totally off topic. I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Oh my goodness. I'm like, gosh. I was tweeting with Spring Sims, which if you don't know who that is, he is a really great person and he has awesome Sims content on his channel. Also, he featured me in one of his Sims showcases. But yeah, he was really cool, and I was talking to him on Twitter, and but he was talking about how he gets winded, and I was like, bro, same. I am like talking a mile a minute and I can't catch my breath, and it's kind of obnoxious, and I'm really sorry if you like speak English as a second language, because I am sure I am obnoxious to try and follow. But anyways, I guess I will just skip to one of the stories I have written down. Oh wait, before I told you I'm obnoxious. But so I'm doing this bathroom here, and it's the same, like, you know, just little bathroom on the bottom floor and on the second floor. And for a moment, you will see that I forgot we had a room tool that you could copy. And so I was trying to, like, you know, select a tool from, or, you know, select a object, one piece of furniture at a time to put it up on the second floor. Like, here I'm doing it. And I was like, then I remembered I have a room option. So anyways, I will actually tell a story now. So I have an older brother. He's pretty chill. He was one of my first subscribers. And so I was about to say he was born before me, which is like, yeah, Penelope, your older brother is born before you. But I think this is either when I was a baby or before I was born. There was this one Christmas, and my parents love telling the story. And so it was Christmas, and my brother had all of these presents. And so he was opening them, but every time he opened a present, he had to fully open it, like dig into like the packaging and take out the toy, and then he started playing with it. And so every time he opened a present, my parents had to then convince him not to play with the toy that he just got and to continue unwrapping his presents. And so one of our close friends called the house, you know, to be like, okay, hey, when are we gonna come over for Christmas? And it was like 10, and like my parents had started like 8 in the morning, like unwrapping presents with my brother, and they're like, we're still unwrapping presents. We can't come over yet. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's just a fun little story. That doesn't involve me at all. But yeah. There aren't a huge amount of really fun Christmas stories from my place. So Christmases are pretty low key at my place, so at my parents' place. So that's where I go usually. There was one year where my parents went to, I think, the Caribbean on a cruise, and they invited me, which is really nice, but the offer was me sleeping on a pull-out couch in the same room as them for like a week and a half, and cruise rooms are really small, and I was just kind of like, it's not worth it. Like, it'd be great to go, you know, see that area of the world, but spending that close proximity with anybody really is like, and so instead I went to my boyfriend's house for Christmas, and he had only been my boyfriend for a few months at that point, so it was a little bit like, awkward in a way, like, and so it's really funny though, because my parents haven't traveled over Christmas since then, and so we've had to spend every Christmas apart. Like, this will be our 4th Christmas, and it'll be our 3rd Christmas apart, and so we were just kind of thinking about how ironic it was that our first Christmas was actually a bit more, like, advanced in a way than it is now, because, like, we have to spend all our holidays apart because both of our parents really like us and want us home with them to celebrate the holidays, so we don't actually get to be with each other. So that's a bit of a bummer, but anyways, I will be doing a fair amount of traveling back and forth, just because I do want to visit my boyfriend's family, and I have presents for all of them, and oh my goodness, you guys, I am good at giving presents. Well, sometimes. Anyways, but I'm good. I crochet. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but I crochet. And I crochet, small creatures, plants, things. And so last year I crocheted a sort of array of succulents and cacti from my boyfriend's dad, and he loved it. Like, he still, like, apparently shows it to, like, his guests when they come over, and I'm just, like, so flattered. And so his mom likes birds, and so this year I crocheted a guinea fowl, and so I'm so excited for his mom to go, like, crazy for it. Anyways, those are those letters that I was talking about. A lot of this build has gone by, and I think part of the reason why I want to tell so many stories is I was really frustrated with this build at times. I'm still kind of frustrated with this build. If you hadn't noticed, I did not say this was on the gallery because it is not, and I really apologize for that. Like, I think it is kind of weird for me to, like, show you this build but then not offer it up to you on the gallery. But I just couldn't bring myself to post 3 different floors that would look utterly terrible up on the gallery. Like, these floors would have looked so awful, and because there's, like, kind of lofted areas, or, like, it didn't work, and so I didn't, and so I'm really sorry, but I just did not want to go through the pain of all of that, and, like, yeah, so that's what happened there, and so I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, so here, this little section, when I was, like, building it, I got really excited, and I was like, this is my favorite part of the entire apartment. And then when I went back to look at it, I was like, okay, this is your favorite part? Really? Okay, fine then. Okay. I just was like, there was just a lot of this build where at the time I was like, this is awesome, and then other times I was like, this is not awesome, and then I look back and then now it is. Yeah. Anyways, but I thought of putting, like, a sort of rec room there, or a library, or an office, but I ended up actually making a gym, and I thought that turned out really nice, and those glass doors kept it really open. Also, there is a sort of butler's room in this build, which is, I imagine, where his head elf would stay or something. Last year, I posted a build to the gallery of Santa's workshop, and I really loved it because it was like this cute little Christmas cabin, and then it had a secret entrance to this gigantic downstairs basement where it was just like a giant factory area, and it was kind of like a hidden, like, sweatshop or something, and, like, yeah. But yeah, so I had fun with that. That one is up on the gallery in case you want to go look for it. So there are some objects in The Sims that I just am obsessed with, and that plant in the corner, you can't really see it right now. Not that one, not the ones I'm placing right now, but the sort of big frondy one, I am obsessed with that. I use that in almost every single build. Like, there are definitely some objects that I'm just, like, crazy for, and I really want to, like, chill out with using them because I want my builds to be, unique, different. I also really like this trick where I put 3 plants in a corner. I really love doing that. I really like plants. So, like, whenever an expansion or stuff for a game pack comes out, I'm so excited to get new plants because those are, like, my favorite. But yeah, so what was I gonna say? I can't believe I've already run out of stuff to say. Like, I actually celebrate Christmas. In the Hanukkah build, I felt like I ran out of stuff to say because I'm not Jewish and I haven't ever celebrated Hanukkah. But in this build, apparently I just don't have anything interesting to talk about. I have some notes for story ideas, and one of them just says spumoni ice cream. And like, if you don't know what spumoni ice cream is, it's a more classic Italian ice cream flavor, and it's pistachio, cherry, and chocolate. And it's sort of like Neapolitan ice cream, which is chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, but it's so much better, and I can only ever find it around Christmas time, and I have no idea why. I don't know why it's been deemed a Christmas flavor, because I've never heard of that being a Christmassy like type flavor. But anyway, so that was my huge spumoni story that I felt the need to write it down and then proceed to tell you about it. I guess maybe it's because it's like my favorite ice cream this time of year, but any other time of year I would say mint chocolate chip. But it has to be a certain mint chocolate chip. Like, I don't like huge chunks of chocolate, and so it can get, and I do not like cookies and cream ice cream, so I don't like mint cookies and cream either. But yeah, so it has to be like a certain type of ice cream. But moving on from my ice cream preferences, this is the second bedroom, and so I kind of imagine this as being a guest bedroom, or maybe even a room for Mrs. Claus to get away from her husband if he's being obnoxious or something. I don't know. I feel like being married to Santa Claus would be obnoxious, especially if he like expects you to like bake all the time. Like, I'd just be like, go bake it yourself. Like, or go ask one of your elves, like, dude. But yeah, so I actually really like how this room turned out. It was a bit finicky at first with the layout. I wasn't really quite sure where to put the bed, or the dresser, or anything. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I get to be like a train wreck with builds, because, you know, it's kind of funny. Like, sometimes I'm like, I'm just not good at building living rooms. I'm not good at building bedrooms. I'm not good at building kitchens. I'm like, what are you good at building then? And like, I am, you know, I can build, but just in my mind, I struggle to get it to where I want it to be. But here, this little section here, I actually really love it for whatever reason. It kind of looks like a museum to me. A really like high class museum, you know, something really nice or something. There's also a globe, the globe bar, and I wanted to put that closer to Santa's actual office. Oh my gosh, excuse me, I just burped. But it just didn't look right near the office. It looked better near the piano. And here's the spiral staircase that I'm in love with. Also, I need to stop using those black and white pictures, because I think they're starting to get a bit overused by me and by everybody else, just because they're so nice and everybody likes them. But yeah, here's also the fun balcony area. Just really simple. But we are coming up to the end of this build. If you like this build, feel free to give me a like, a comment, or subscribe, especially if you'd like to be updated as to when my next build is. Yeah, apparently YouTube is doing weird things, so, you know, whatever. But yeah, so I hope you guys are all having a great day, a good holiday day. Like I said, if you celebrate, just a regular good day if you don't. But yeah, the screenshots are coming up soon, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!